Welcome to 2023 with Agnes Kunkel. In 2020, the world was hit by COVID-19. It was like a time machine. Find out what the world might look like in spring 2023 and how we will need to adapt. 2023, your window to a world beyond COVID-19. It is June 2023. Ellen, a young fashion designer, is getting ready for her online conference with her team, working for a big fashion brand. For this purpose, she is wearing her old favorite black dress. Back in isolation time, in 2020, clearing and throwing out her boyfriend's ugly clothes was her only hobby, and she hoped he would never realize, which worked out very well. She also found this dress again in the corner of her wardrobe. Thank God, since COVID-19, getting styled is much easier, she is thinking to herself. People around the globe started working from home more often, and therefore do not need to be fully stylishly dressed. Now, new fashion trends are pantsuits with knee-length pants, trendy scarves and brooches, everything nice a camera can capture during an online meeting. But Ellen is quite sure that most of her team members are actually wearing jogging pants during online meetings, while they only pretend to be always fancy dressed. But it is a taboo to ask. She decides to put her white silk neckerchief perfectly matching the dress. The silk is made from rose leaves, one of the new sustainable materials the fashion industry recently uses because consumption has changed. While customers were not able to shop fashion during isolation time in 2020 and now do not need to because of working from home, people started thinking about what they really need and what brands they want to support. Ellen and her colleagues have to rediscover the real value of clothing. Their new motto is less clothes but more soul, sustainable but extraordinary. In today's meeting, they will be talking about the use of leather made from apple peels for their new collection, as the Oktoberfest is just around the corner.
Welcome to our podcast 2023, your window to the world beyond COVID-19. Today it's 21st of July 2020 and this is your host Agnes Kunkel. COVID-19 official cases worldwide are today 40,755,000 and confirmed global casualties are 611,000. Our topic today is fashion in 2023 and our guest today is Sylvia Daun from Kismet Yoga Style. Yoga has changed your life. After almost 20 years in the business, you started your own company and you wanted to put your ecological and human values into practice in a company with casual, sustainable, feel-good fashion for many yoginis and yogis. As a start, you took a teacher apprenticeship in India. Today, Kismet Yoga Style produces fashion that inspires many people. Your products are produced in India and Portugal. Fair cooperation with suppliers is important to you. In addition to your entrepreneurial activities, you offer yoga and meditation seminars for companies when possible. Hello, Sylvia.
Hello, Agnes.
Thank you very much for being with us in our podcast. Hello.
Agnes, thank you for having me.
Great. COVID-19 has changed our lives dramatically, and it will have long-term effects. You are a yoga teacher and entrepreneur. Do you more yoga now in this time of social distancing and travel restrictions?
To be honest, I did not practice more yoga than before. I have my regular practice every morning after getting up, half an hour. And for me, Corona time was so busy managing our online shop because of a substantial growth of the online business. So there was not more time for me to practice.
Okay, so you are a special case. What about other people? I think I have heard that things like yoga, meditation were practiced more when people were at home.
Yes, I think that's my impression too. In fact, many people faced fear and insecurity And yoga is a great tool to deal in a better way with it. So I guess many people started with online courses because all the yoga schools were closed due to Corona. But it was really my impression that the online classes were uploaded quite frequently for many people who had no idea of yoga before. So Corona was really pushing.
I started yoga 1 year ago. As male participants showed me some interesting websites where yoga lessons were taught, and yes, now I've, like you, half an hour after getting up. That's now regular for me.
Yeah, it's after a while it's like brushing your teeth.
Yeah. So, as we have been so long at home, how do you think this will affect our fashion ideas? And maybe we have Ellen, the lady from the 2023 story, which has changed her ideas about fashion.
Yeah, I think we see in fashion a trend since now 10 years that fashion is getting a bit more casual than it used to be before. And I think Corona is not making the trend, it's enhancing it. So, I think the time of formal fashion is over in a way. So we want to be a bit more comfortable in our everyday life. And and it's now more accepted even in banking. You're dressed a bit more casual than it used to be before.
So does it have to do that so many occasions were absent? No weddings, no theater, or no parties. Typical reasons, especially for a woman, to buy new clothing and fashionable clothing.
Yeah, I think that's just for the time now that we don't have parties or weddings. I think now when we can dress more comfy in our everyday life and it's accepted to dress more casual, we will enjoy even more to dress up occasionally. Yeah. So I think this Corona time will be over in a year, and then the next wedding. I will enjoy to dress up. That's all.
Okay, you're saying it's a little bit bipolar. So we will have a part where it's not so much fashionable, more relaxed, but maybe a leisure wear does not mean that it hasn't fashion aspects in it.
Yeah, that's for sure anyway. So, and I think fashion became in the last 10, 20, 30 years, nearly since the 80s, in fact, became inspired from sport much more. And I think it's a development over decades. And now it's at its peak. Somehow. And people want to feel comfortable in their everyday life. And I think in the new beauty is that you have a relaxed face.
Yeah. Right.
And with comfortable fashion, it's easier to look relaxed as well.
Maybe you have read that Siemens has announced for 140,000 employees to be free to stay 3 days at the home office to work remotely. Do you think other companies will follow this trend?
I hope so. I think it fits much more to our modern lifestyle to work from home and to not just from home. For sure, it's good to meet your colleagues in the office as well, but to have a bit more flexible working life than it used to be.
When we work remote at home, no one will see us.
Yeah, that's true. But to be honest with you, I think if you work from home, it's good to establish a discipline. So for me, I would say I always Yeah, I mean, for sure, I wear a bit more relaxed things, but I get dressed. I would not start working in my pajama.
That's great. Of course, I guess you wear Kismet yoga style dresses.
Yeah.
um, but do you think people see it as a liberation, not to be seen?
So and so, I guess. I think in somehow it is a liberation, but and I think it's quite convenient to have a comfy dress code during the day. But I think on the other hand, you enjoy even more to dress up and to show off and to display your fashion when you go out.
We are doing this interview via our Teams environment, and we just see each other, the hair, the face, maybe the shoulders, but we don't see the hands, we don't see the legs. So what will this mean for fashion? As, by the way, we are at home more often, no? But at any moment there can be a video conference.
Mm-hmm.
What does this mean for makeup, glasses, hairstyle?
Yeah, I think that's important anyway. I guess, or what I see at the moment is that jewelry is getting a bit more popular than it used to be, and especially earrings. They are a new statement. And I think that's always something nice when you present yourself in a video conference.
And what about scarves?
Scarves, I think they're always in fashion, so you can wear them or not. It's a question which fashion type you are.
Maybe you can, when you are a little bit elderly than me, you can cover your...
So you mean when you're more matured, more wise?
What about perfume? You don't smell anything in video conferences.
Yeah, but I think as well, the trend is that you don't smell like in the 80s, where you have this feeling, oh God, when somebody passed by, that you either cannot stand it or it's kind of fragrance shock you get. I think it's getting more natural as well, and perfume is a bit like became a kind of sensual travel, like visiting a spice market in Morocco or so. That's a kind of fragrances you have, modern fragrances.
So you do it more for yourself, not to impress others.
Yes. But I like these really natural, light fragrances.
And I understand correctly, you are projecting that more casual dress in the office will also arise. That from working remotely in your leisure wear, more comfortable wear, that will change the outfit for the business when you go to office, when you go to the office.
Yeah, I think, I mean, Germany, or especially now Frankfurt, when you see banking scene, they are not the fashion main city, I would say. But in other countries, you see already, you can go with your Birkenstock and a suit. So it's more mixed and it's more possible.
Birkenstock to the office?
Yes, I think you can do that.
Okay.
I mean, maybe not when you're a lawyer, but in many industries.
Some clerk who is just doing his business in procurement or whatever, say you can go with flip-flop more or less.
And I mean, and it's fashionable as well, you know, because Birkenstocks are not the
extremely fashionable.
And so, you can wear this comfy style the whole day through. It's quite accepted.
And what about the masks? I have heard in Hong Kong it's a fashion accessories.
Yeah, it is. In Asian countries, it's since many years accessory.
Mm.
But yeah, I hope it will not become a big accessory here because I like more seeing people smile.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I hope we will see people smile in the streets again after the Corona thing is over.
Yeah. Okay. So,
But for now, people wear it as a statement as well. Sure, and fashion. You see it in the big fashion shows. So you see the mask with prints, fancy prints.
That it's matching the prints on the clothes. So things like that. I would not be surprised to see stuff like that in Western world too. But we will see.
But I think it's just for a particular time. I think it will not stay forever. In Asian countries, you can see it's a statement like since years, but they are crazy about fashion anyway. So it's completely different than Western countries. I would say they do so crazy fashion statements. I think we are maybe not crazy enough for this kind of stuff.
We will see. We will discuss in 2023 what's going on in this area. Man's fashion. Ellen in the story, she throws away her partner's clothes and he didn't even notice. Does something change for men's fashion?
Yeah, I think same as for women, that it might be accepted not to wear a tie anymore, and you can go with a shirt or just with your jacket. So I think it gets more casual for them as well.
Just a little bit more casual and relaxed.
I think men, in fact, men, they always say, I want colors, but at the end they go always with dark blue or black.
Okay. We spoke about earrings that are a big fashion statement. What about the other stuff? We will see much less traveling, business traveling especially. Of course, holidays, I guess we will see a lot of holidays. But for economy reasons, for cost cutting, it looks like if business trips are strongly restricted, studies speak of up to 50%. I guess that's not a very booster for luggage, handbags, shoes, and that stuff, which is important for men, by the way.
Yeah, but I think if you travel 50% less, you still travel 50%. So at the end, you might need your coat and your shoes and your luggage. So I think we need to wait if this will have really a big impact on this kind of business. But it's so I cannot say if it has been affected now in this short period of time since the last 2 months. I don't know.
But these are very expensive items, and maybe for the saving money and cost. And I would not be surprised if the turnover, sales volume is decreasing in this area.
I'm not so sure about this because, as you say, it's very expensive. High quality products are very expensive, and you have them for a lifetime. In fact, so I think even with this idea of sustainability, I hope there will be a change that people buy more sustainable quality stuff and just the cheap things. So I'm not sure if it will have a bad impact in this industry.
You say you do not buy it so frequently, so that will not change that much. Yeah. Could you imagine that something completely new comes out of this period of lockdown, as people is just innovative, new materials, crazy cuts? The girl in the story, she has a petal rose scarf. I know bamboo fibers, petal rose. I haven't heard about it, but
yeah, I mean, there are a lot of fibers which are new and which are quite interesting as well. I think before Corona, there was already a lot at the market. And I think it might I hope it will become more popular. So pineapple is, for example, pineapple leaves are great for bags as well. It has,
you make fibers out of pineapple.
Yeah. It's
yes, it's very hard.
It's a bit like leather.
Yeah.
So and bamboo is a great material as well. So and if it's it's all very sustainable. So I think this, as soon as the consumer asks more frequently for this kind of things, they will happen, and more innovative fabrics will come. I'm sure about it. I hope so. Yeah, that this sustainability will become more important, and people get more aware of pollution, and that we need to preserve our environment.
In your clothing, do you use new fibers?
We use for now recycled polyester, which is made from PET bottles. And the important thing about the fabric is it doesn't feel really like plastic. It has a silky soft touch. So it's really a high-tech material. But some yoga styles, they are very demanding, and you sweat a lot. And so it was important for me to use a high-tech material, and there was no other way than using polyester. So for me, it was important to recycle. And the other one, fabric I use is beetroot. And there is an Austrian company who they make this fabric CO2 neutral. And it's a great soft material. It consumes much less water than cotton.
And it's from peaches. Have I understood correctly? From the leaves of the trees?
No, it is cellulose.
Okay. Yeah. So from the wood of the peach tree.
From the wood, yes, exactly.
Okay, interesting. I love peaches, but
so I'm very much into this. So for now, it's always complicated to work with a new fabric. But I'm looking at the moment for new fabrics as well, and there's a lot in the market going on. So it's quite interesting.
Okay. As we just talk about innovations, I have heard about a party suit, or let's say a part of a suit where you have a hood over your head and the possibility to eat and to drink, but it's completely closed. I guess it goes down till the elbow and down to the breast. And do you think stuff like this is a gag? Or could we see it's neon and reflecting and funny?
Yeah, I think it's more, some freaks will wear it, but it's nothing which will be a big fashion trend, I would say.
I had some vision. Sometimes I walk through the streets and I have visions. Much before I heard about this party suit, that people maybe for the reason of course, filter out particles and germs at the moment for coronaviruses, but even that this will help to filter out pollution. That we will see maybe people wearing hats. That maybe we have in the years to come rooms which are highly filtered and clean and no pollution. And so inside, maybe in malls or certain restaurants or maybe at home, and that when you leave, maybe in a city like New Delhi or a real place in China where it's really polluted, people to start to wear stuff like that to avoid the polluted air.
I hope before they will filter the air outside.
Of course.
So, I mean, and I think it will happen. Delhi is a place I know quite well, and it's really badly polluted.
Yeah.
So I myself, I had allergic reactions in my face. It's small dust particles which cause kind of burning on the skin, and many people have it. And there is a huge movement now in India to change these things because people are really fed up with it. So I think it will not come to this high-tech thing. I really think they will change production. And as I produce in India, I produce with a company which is completely sustainable in the whole process, in dyeing, in printing, in everything what they do. And so there is a more and more awareness coming. They even have, last time I was in India, it was last year, and they started to separate the garbage. So in official places. So I was quite impressed, because that's India takes it now to another level. In the beginning, 10 years ago, I was completely different. So there was no matter what, they used everything and they throw everything in every corner on the beach or whatever. And there's big movements meanwhile that things like this don't happen anymore in this. I mean, it's a huge country. It will take a bit of time. But they're in a changing process right now.
Oh, that's great to hear. I have been to India, and the throwing away was quite common. So it would be very fine that they change.
Yeah, but as I say all the time, I mean, I'm coming from a place in Germany where we have a lot of industry, steel industry, and in the 80s, there was no river, not polluted. There was no fish swimming anywhere. And now you can go for a swim, and this river is because of all this clean. So I think this will happen in India as well.
No, it's a great country. It's a really unbelievable great country, and I wish them very well. And I hope that COVID is diminishing. To talk about another problem, we had the lockdown or the restrictions, and it said that the collection for spring and summer has maybe to be destroyed. It cannot be given as let's say, to donate. It cannot be donated, as this would cause a lot of tax problems. And maybe when you donate everything, then the market will collapse. So that can be done. So we will see a lot of destroyed and fashion items this summer or this fall. In average, it said in the articles, a person in Germany buys over 60 items per year and throw away around 60 fashion items a year. I think you don't share this habit.
No.
Will we see change? Will we see more responsibility, maybe for the girls doing the sewing, and dyeing must be typically a terrible process, and all that. Do we feel more connection to the people working for the stuff we are wearing?
I don't know if we feel more connection to the people because it's far away for us, but I hope we will change our mindset and we will buy more into quality, and we should buy less as well, and more long-lasting things. The biggest problem in fashion is the fast fashion, primer products. I don't know if I'm allowed to name them, but and they produce in such a minor quality that you cannot recycle these garments as well. So they would not serve as a cleaning rack as well. So you can really not use them for anything. And they get completely destroyed. And that's the big problem in fashion. But I hope that fast fashion is not so accepted anymore as it used to be in the past. And I remember, 30 years, 40 years ago, we bought more quality things, long-lasting things, and this fast fashion is quite new as well. So, and people they buy things. You buy 5 shirts instead of one, which you really like, and then you wear them once and you throw them away. So, and that is really causing a lot of damage to our environment, and everybody needs to be really clear about it. It's for sure about the people producing this in the process, but it's for the environment really, really bad. I think textile is, it's one of the biggest polluters in the world. So, but it's fast fashion.
And this low quality stuff.
Value fashion more again. And I think for that something has a value to us, it needs to have a price as well. And when something is very cheap, it doesn't have a value.
Yes. So we will see if it has some effect on the people and they are a little bit more concerned about what they are doing. I have heard that jeans means that 10 years of use of your normal water, what you use for washing and that stuff that you use maybe for...
we need to be more conscious about this. I think it's very important. But Corona might help to get a bit more conscious. And as you can see, small brands, they are really successful now when they go the sustainable way.
So let's do a quick resume, a quick recap for our listeners. We will see earrings.
Yes.
We will have enhanced the trend of a more from the sports side motivated fashion style.
Inspiration comes from all kind of sports.
And that will be enhanced. It will be more relaxed, so maybe what we have called maybe a casual Friday might be now the standard business clothing.
Yeah, I guess so. And fashion should serve an active lifestyle. I think that's the trend of today.
No problems for shoes and handbags, even when we don't see them in the video conferences. Yes, hopefully a little bit more consciousness about what are we wearing and a little bit more feeling for quality and maybe new fibers.
Yes, for sure.
New fibers, more fibers from new materials. And a lot of fun when dressing up for weddings and parties when all this Corona
is gone. Has to be fun.
Okay, so thanks a lot. And maybe in half a year or so we can talk again what's going on and if some of our predictions have come true. And thank you very much, Sylvia, that you had that we had your time to have you with us in the podcast.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Agnes. It was a pleasure.
You've been listening to 2023. To get in touch with us with your comments or ideas, or if you'd like to be a guest on the show, just email hello@20-23.earth. You can find even more material, including transcripts of our interviews, on our website at 20-23.earth. Please keep in mind, the content of this podcast is our opinion. We work hard to get our facts right. However, if you find something that can be corrected or improved, please email us at hello@20-23.earth. If you haven't already done so, we'd be grateful if you would subscribe, rate, and review this podcast wherever you happen to listen. Thanks for listening, stay safe, and there will be springtime in 2023.